Good morning. This is September the 24th. We are in BBA first semester compulsory English class, and it is Tuesday today. In the previous class, we started reading Lisa Davies' essay, Where Do We Stand? And I said an essay can roughly be divided into three parts: the introduction, the body paragraph or discussion, and the conclusion. And I said there are 18 paragraphs in this essay, and the first 4 paragraphs function as the introduction of the essay. And I said the introduction of the essay can be imagined as an inverted pyramid, by which I meant the writers begin with something very broad idea which is related to the topic, but it is not specific, it is not particular. And as they move ahead, they narrow down this broad idea by saying something particular and by saying something specific. And I give you an example how in the first paragraph, the writer presents a scene where two people are talking in a cocktail party where one moves ahead, another moves backward, and then they have a sort of misunderstanding. And in how in paragraph 2, the writer clearly mentions about the misunderstanding by saying that the Middle Eastern person feels chilled, relaxed, and whereas the American feels bullied. And at the end of the second paragraph, the writer uses the expression, the language of space. Then I said, as the writer reaches the third paragraph, he says, our skin is not the only boundary of the body. We wear a zone of privacy. And he uses the metaphor of the hoop skirt and says that our body has a language. How we stand, how we gaze at people, how we use our posture. And then he says, if we know this body language in our culture, paragraph 3. And in paragraph 4 he says, we Americans will understand how other Americans will use body language, but, and there he starts his thesis statement. And I said, the thesis statement functions as a flag, political flag. What does a flag do? In demonstrations and in political demonstrations, a flag functions as something that brings you together. Right? If you belong to Nepali Congress and if you see the flag with the 4 stars, you group together. If you belong to UML and if you see the flag with sickle and the hammer, you group together. So flags bring you together. In political demonstrations, flags bring you together. In writing, what brings ideas together? The thesis statement brings the ideas together. How? Because all the ideas develop from the thesis statement itself. Nothing in the essay goes against the thesis statement. Nothing in the essay contradicts against the thesis statement. And I showed you how this thesis statement, for example, has 3 clauses. The first clause says, from culture to culture, from group to group, within a single country, comma, clause 1. Even between the sexes, comma, clause 2. The language of space, I made a mistake, I missed here. From group to group within a single, clause 2. Even between the sexes, clause 3. There are 3 clauses. From culture to culture, clause 1. From group to group within a single country, clause 2. Even between the sexes, clause 3. There are 3 clauses expressing 3 ideas here, right? 3 clauses expressing 3 ideas. I'm letting you in because this is the first time you're late, okay? If from tomorrow you're late, I won't let you in. Your time to be here is exact at 7, okay? If I come after 7, you lock the door and don't let me in. Rules apply both ways, okay? I said you can't be late. You can say, Debakar sir, you too can't be late. Yes, fine. If I am late, I won't come to class. Okay. So, then here, the language of space has distinctive accents, confusing umlauts. This sentence in yellow that I have highlighted, this sentence is called, in writing, academic writing, this sentence we call it major claim. We call this as a major claim. This is a statement. It's a sentence. This sentence is a statement. This sentence is an assertion. What is an assertion? An assertion is a plain statement which is either true or false. No statement, no assertions can be both true and false at the same time. Statements cannot be both true as well as false at the same time. This is morning. Statement. It's true. Check your watch, it's true, right? It can't be false. So, writers in the thesis statement, they present claims. C-L-A-I-M, claim. What is a claim? They say something. They say something. They are not saying an ordinary thing. They are saying something significant. A thesis statement is not an ordinary idea. Thesis statements are such ideas which change the world, which change society. They are not ordinary ideas. And such ideas are born after years of study and research. Sometimes, in case of enlightened people like Lord Buddha, they click. They click. When Buddha sat under that peepal tree in Kushinagar, it clicked to him that desires are the source of all the problems. That is the thesis of Buddhism. The source of all the suffering in this world is desire. Lord Buddha said this thing. And he became, before saying this sentence, he was Siddhartha Gautam. After saying this sentence, he became Gautam the Buddha. But thesis does not click to everybody. Everybody isn't Lord Buddha, right? For us to have a thesis, either we need to research for a long time, or we need to read carefully selected books, or we need to watch television series, or we need to observe carefully. Observe carefully. And I said, the thesis statement is a major claim. Another word to denote the thesis statement is major argument. If you are a research student and you are defending your Viva Voce exam, you go in the room and you sit, and the first question they put to you is, what's your major argument? They say, now you are supposed to tell your thesis. My major argument is, now you will tell the most important idea from your work. Your major argument is the most important idea in the 50-page research, 100-page research. And When they say, what is your major argument? You must be able to tell it in a single sentence. A thesis statement is not expressed in two sentences. It is not expressed in a paragraph. A thesis statement is so concise, so condensed, that it is always stated in a single sentence. That is why it takes a long time to develop a thesis statement. Right? Okay. Now, read here. Sentence 1, S1. Sentence 2, S2. Now, read S3. That leaves a lot of room for misinterpretation. This pronoun that is a continuous idea marker. I am also teaching you what is academic writing or teaching the essay, because one core component of this course is academic writing. This that is a continuous idea marker, and it refers to the idea in the previous sentence. That leaves a lot means that means the language of space has distinctive accent confusing umlauts. The pronoun that carries the same idea which is expressed by this highlighted sentence. So we call this pronoun as continuous idea marker, a word that marks an idea which is continuing in the present sentence from the previous sentence. And this is called as pronoun reference. We call it as pronoun reference. And the function of pronoun reference is creating cohesion. What is cohesion? Cohesion comes from the verb cohere. What does cohere mean? To fit together, to go together. And cohesion or fitting together, going together, when sentences fit together rightly, when one sentence after another sentence seems very fitting, then this is called good quality of writing. This is called coherence in writing. And good people, tomorrow you will take IELTS exam, TOEFL exam, GRE exam, you will write essays for SAT also. In that you get higher marks if you are writing as this quality. Connection, fitting together, going smoothly, harmoniously. That leaves a lot of room for misinterpretation. Now look, here is a phenomenon. Space language has distinctive accent and umlaut. This is a condition. Here is a result. If this happens, if X happens, Y will happen. If X, then Y. If language has distinctive accent and umlaut, then people might misunderstand it. If X, then Y. See the structure. Then move ahead. And. Now, and is called another marker. What does and do? And is used to add another idea to an existing idea. For addition. You're yawning and I see you yawning and I feel uncomfortable. Let me talk to her. Tell us why did you yawn? Early morning. You can't expect somebody to yawn early morning unless there is a reason. Either you didn't sleep last night and you have come to class to take a rest, or you are not physically fine, or my class is boring, you are not enjoying. There must be a reason. I won't take it normal if you yawn in my class. You are not supposed to yawn in my class. If you yawn, give me a reason. Meet me in person and tell me, Dibakar sir, your class is boring. And I'll consider to change my teaching. Okay? As a teacher, I can't yarn in your class when I teach you. And yarning is highly contagious. When you yarn, it makes me yarn. Yarning is so contagious, you talk on video call, and if the person over there from America yarns, you start yarning. It is so contagious. It is scientifically proven. It is proven. If you see somebody on video call yarning, you yarn. Okay, sorry. Look what happened. She yarned and got distracted. I want full attention to what I'm saying. Okay. So I was saying, and is a discourse marker used for aiding two ideas. But is a discourse marker for contrasting two ideas. That's why but is called contrast marker. Okay. And the stakes have gotten higher as business has become increasingly international and populations multicultural. Full stop. Now, what does this underlined sentence do? This underlined sentence presents the situation or the context of the argument. What does situation of the argument mean? What does context of the argument mean? It means which year was this argument made? In which place was this argument made? Who made the argument? In front of whom did they make this argument? And how was the situation in the place where they were speaking? Now we know that this Lisa Davies essay is written in the context of globalization. Lisa Davies essay has been written in the context of globalization, business becoming international. And when there is globalization, people from different cultures interact more. And when people from different cultures interact more, chances are that they will misunderstand space use and misinterpret space use. As a result, there will be a problem. So, look here. This is called a conclusion marker. So is conclusion marker. Whereas because is a reason marker. A common word for all these like but, and, so, because, yet, although. A common word for all these is discourse marker. Say with me, discourse marker. Discourse means stage of writing. This 18 paragraph essay is a discourse on space use. Discourse means a long piece of writing. If you have a thick book of 1000 pages about marriage, that's a marriage discourse. If you write an essay about how Divakar Sir's class is so boring, that's a pedagogical discourse. So what does discourse mean? Anything you write more than one sentence, that becomes a discourse. We have word. When you combine words, we have sentence. When you combine sentence, we have paragraph. When you combine paragraphs, we have essays. The moment you write an essay, that's a discourse. An essay is a discourse. Simply, discourse means a longer piece of writing on any topic. A longer piece of writing on any topic. Okay. Discourse marker means a word which helps you understand where you are in that writing. On the highway, we have markers, traffic markers, right? There are milestones which say Kathmandu 45 kilometers. Now you know, oh, I will reach in 1 hour. Marker. If highway was a discourse, let's imagine, that milestone functions as a marker. It tells you where you are, how far you have come, how far you have to go. In writing, Markers are those words which help you understand where you are in the essay, one. Second, they help you understand what is happening in the essay. For example, the moment you encounter the word but, you know two opposite ideas are compared. The moment you encounter and, you know two ideas are added. The moment you encounter so, you know a conclusion is coming. So discourse marker help you understand the function of writing. Discourse markers help you understand what? The function of writing. Here the function is contrasting. Here the function is adding another idea to existing idea. Here the function is bringing the conclusion to the paragraph. This is contrast marker. This is conclusion marker. This is reason marker. Okay. So a new breed of consultants has appeared in the last few years. Look here, the word consultant. This is the second time this word occurs in paragraph 4. The first time this word occurs is in paragraph 1. She says at the end of paragraph 1, she says, Peter Bechtold, Middle East expert and a consultant, she says, right, has appeared in the last few years interpreting for globe trotters. Previously, she used the word jet setter. In the previous paragraph, she used the word jet setter. Now she used the word globe trotter. Both words mean the same thing. This is called coherence by synonymity. When writers use one word here like globe trotter, and they have already used another word jet setter in the previous paragraph, the two paragraphs become connected because two words having same meaning are used in two paragraphs. Globe trotters of all nationalities, the meaning and use of personal space. So what's he saying? Now we have consultants. Now we have consultants, and these consultants are interpreting. What are they interpreting? They are interpreting meaning and use of personal space. So this essay, if somebody asks you, what is Lisa Davies' essay about? One simple answer can be, Lisa Davies' essay is about the meaning and use of personal space in intercultural communication. I repeat, Lisa Davies' essay is about the meaning and use of personal space in intercultural communication and its effect. Now, before I move to paragraph 5, let me once again wrap up and say that paragraph 4 is the heart of this essay, because paragraph 4 presents the plan for rest of the essay. And now you will see rest of the essay from paragraph 5 to 18. Rest of the essay from paragraph 5 to 18 truly develops from these three clauses in sentence 2 in paragraph 4. For example, now let me show you. For example, now I am moving to body paragraphs now. Be careful. Now I am moving to body paragraphs. For example, the first clause in paragraph 4 was from culture to culture. The first clause was from culture to culture. Second clause was from group to group within a single country. Third clause was within sexes. Three clauses. Now take the first clause, from culture to culture. Now read it here. For instance, for example, say